Hey guys, Aaron Cybertron Zang here, and today I'm back with another episode of Road to Rank where I climb the online Series 7 ladder and provide live commentary as I go. In the last episode, we featured a really fun team with Registeel, so we'll be playing a couple of more games with it today. Once again, huge thank you to Eric Rios for the team. Go check out the last episode if you have not already, and go check out Eric. He is linked in the description below, and there's a rental and paste for this team as well, linked in the description below, courtesy of Eric. So, let's get into today's episode. First game, we are up against... yeah, I feel like this archetype has been pretty common recently. Like, Porygon 2 has definitely seen a huge spike in usage, and that's actually one of the reasons why I think Registeel is really good. It has a phenomenal matchup in the 1v1 against Porygon in the late game. So I like bringing Registeel here. The question is, who do I surround it with? Rotom, he looks amazing here, actually. If I can get a Nasty Plot off, kind of just one-shots a lot of my opponent's Pokemon. We have a lot of interesting options here. Fini's also not bad. Like, I'm leaning towards Grimmsnarl or Rotom as a lead, because like Pressure's Fake Out Nasty Plot, but I also have Will-O-Wisp, right? Definitely want Registeel in the back, I think, in this one. For the last one, Fini, Landorus, or Rillaboom. If I'm bringing Landorus, it'd mainly be for Intimidate, but it does no damage, so I don't like that very much. Rillaboom has Fake Out Pressure, it does have Glide into a couple of my opponent's Pokemon. I'm leaning towards Fini here. I think, like, other than Regieleki, my opponent does not have much to hit the Tapu Fini. Fini can also put in a lot of work after a Calm Mind here. My opponent also doesn't really have Water Resist, so for all those reasons, I'm going to bring the Fini. Either way, let's get into today's episode. Thank you as always for watching. If you enjoyed, please share support by leaving a like in the video. I'd really appreciate it. Question of the day, I want to know, when did you get your first Pokemon game? For me, it was Pokemon Emerald, and that was back in 2005, so I think I would have been around 8 to 9 years old back then. So yeah, let me know your answers in the comments below. It's going to be Grimmsnarl and Regieleki, so I feel like this is a relatively free Fake Out Nasty Plot or Fake Out Will-O-Wisp. That's Dark Urshifu, right? It is. Alright, well that's good for us. I'm leaning towards Fake Out Will-O-Wisp. I mean, it's just so likely like Grimmsnarl, like, sorry, not Grimmsnarl, Urshifu protects here. Okay, I mean, I don't mind going for a Fake Out and a Nasty Plot, because Nasty Plot punishes them protecting with Urshifu. Oh boy, that was a nice play. Is this Urshifu maxing? Because if so, that's really, really, really well done. Okay, they Dynamax Regieleki. I don't mind that much then. Actually, maybe I should. Like, Max Strike into Rotom's not going to KO us, but it's going to do so much damage. And they didn't protect, so I could have gone for Will-O-Wisp there. Okay, they offer Max Lightning, though, into Grimmsnarl. We should survive this, right? I spoke too soon. I did not think that would one-shot. That might be Life Orb, then. Oh, this just got really interesting. I did not think I was in any immediate danger with this lead. They're not Life Orb either. Wow, I guess Regieleki's just a little stronger than I gave it credit for. I did not think that would one-shot Grimmsnarl, to be honest. If it wasn't Life Orbed. Huh. Maybe it's Magnet. That could make some sense. Okay, I think we go into Fini here. We just Dynamax Rotom and Max Flare the Regieleki. I don't know if +2 Max Flare is enough for the KO, which is my, like, only concern here. But I think I kind of have to go for it. The Protect on Fini here is super duper obvious, but I think I go for that still. Fini is just too good against my opponent's team, and Regieleki is the main threat to it. They could very easily Max Guard Regieleki, though, actually. I just thought about that. I could Calm Mind here. If I expect the Max Guard. Yeah, I'm actually going to Calm Mind Max Flare here. Because I feel like me protecting, Dynamaxing, and just flaring the Regieleki is so obvious. Like, if I'm my opponent, I'm thinking, okay, I can just protect here. But maybe the Regieleki is EV'd in a way where it can survive a +2 Max Flare, so my opponent's confident in surviving, so they're just Max Lightning Tapu Fini here. Either way, that was a really good Dynamax from the Regieleki's end. I just did not see that coming. And I honestly didn't, yeah, I didn't see Grimmsnarl ever going down on turn 1, so that was not ideal. Okay, they don't Max Guard. That's not good. Fini does not take that. It's looking pretty rough right now, but if we can one-shot Regieleki, then Rotom and Registeel can definitely still pull this off. But I think Protect there would have actually put us in a pretty good position. Maybe that was a little greedy for me to go for. Okay, Wicked Blow does not do that much, so I don't think you're banded. Can't tell for sure yet. Problem is that my Registeel can't protect in front of... Yeah, and that one-shot. Okay, so I could have protected Fini there, but I don't know. I thought it was like a reasonable assumption for my opponent to try to max guard there. Actually, now that I think about though, it's probably just 4 attack Regieleki, so it probably doesn't have max guard. I should have thought about that a little bit more. If you're Dynamaxing Regieleki, that means you're not going to be screens as often of the time, and if that's the case, then yeah. I should have logicked it out a little bit better there, actually. Okay, I have Registeel in the back. It doesn't make sense to ever go for a... yeah, I think Rotom and Registeel could definitely still pull this off, so it's not over by any means, but... I think I'm going to Iron Defense here and Flare into the Urshifu. Actually, is there any switching they have into Flare? Incineroar. So Max Light... No, they could switch in Landers. Who are they going to have in the back? Incin feels more likely, to be honest. I'm going to go for an Iron Defense here. I can't protect in front of an Urshifu. And I don't want to... Well, if Landers is your last one... Okay, I mean, +2 Max Flare into Incin still does a ton of damage, so I'm just going to target the Urshifu here. And they actually Wicked Blow Rotom. Ooh, interesting. Because I think Registeel could solo through my opponent's team now. I think they needed a close combat there. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I wanted to get rid of the Urshifu because, I mean, Porygon's actually pretty scary, no lie, right now, because, like, Electric Terrain is up and it has a special attack boost, so I wouldn't be surprised if it has Thunderbolt. Thunderbolts are actually going to do a sizable amount to me right now, but Registeel can obviously heal back every turn with leftovers, and we have Protect. We have a +2 Rotom in the Sun as well, and a +2 Defense Regi right now. They offer Trick Room, okay. This is going to be a close end game. What's scary now is if my opponent does have Celesteela in the back. Because the Sun is up. It is Celesteela. I don't have Protect on the Rotom. Yeah, I think this would have been a win if I just protected Fini that turn, but... Oh, wait, we still have one more turn of Dynamax. Hold on. Forgot about that. That's a big deal. I'm going to go for another Iron Defense here, then. And Flare into Celesteela, I think. Does Celesteela protect here? It might. Yeah, it does. Okay. Double up on Porygon may have been the play there, then? Yeah, they have Tri-Attack. Okay. Take that pretty well, though. I totally forgot we had another turn of Dynamax, to be honest. It may have been smarter to just double up on a Rotom with Body Press Flare there, because, like, Rotom wall Celesteela pretty hard. But this Flare is still going to do a ton of damage, right? It's +2, Dynamax and Sun is up. That was almost a KO. Jeez. Oh, that was a crit. That was why. Okay. Ooh, it is weakness. Oh, no, it's not weakness policy. Okay, for a second, I was like, that's really bad, but it's lefties. Okay. I don't think that crit really makes that much of a difference, because I'm pretty sure a Body Press would have KO'd here anyway. We're at +4 defense now. So I will just Body Press here and go for a T-Bolt. But, like I said, I think doubling up on a Porygon there is slightly better, because Porygons very rarely carry Protect. And I don't think Rotom was in KO range, unless you were Meteor Beam Steela. Yeah, so I think if I were to replay that, I would have liked doubling up onto Rotom a little bit more. Or sorry, doubling up on a Porygon a little bit more. We actually have Speed of Celesteela too, so this is the beauty of Registeel once again. So now it's a 1v1. This is exactly what we wanted Registeel for in the late game. And this is what I was saying, right? Porygon 2 is getting increasingly common, especially on a lot of Japanese teams, it feels like. And Registeel is a phenomenal matchup into it. So I'm just going to protect this turn, no reason not to. I think +4 Body Press should just KO Porygon at this point. Their win con is to go for Status Condition via Tri-Attack. Freeze is probably your best bet. Yeah. Sun fades, so you can freeze. Let's see, there's... Terrain is also gone. Yeah, I mean, even if you freeze, like, Porygon just does no damage at this point. We're healing back every turn. Yeah, they're going to go for Tri-Attack. +1 special attack, but Registeel's base 150 Spadef. Yeah, that did... what? Oh, they get the Paralysis. Okay. They did 28 damage, though. We get parried. It did 28, but, like, I'm healing back or almost half of that from leftovers, right? So, yeah, like, Porygon just doesn't do enough damage right now. Single Body Press should seal it. I'd honestly rather get paralyzed than frozen right now, so... But... you can't fault my opponent for giving up. You know, your win con is basically get a billion full paras right now, but Registeel is able to get the Body Press off. The nice thing about getting parried actually is now they can't even Trick Room. Because, yeah, if they Trick Room, we'll just outspeed them. So, This is exactly why Registeel is so strong. So I feel like this game always highlights... Like, we went up against Dynamax Regieleki, I think, a few episodes ago, and the problem with Dynamax Regieleki is that it's just still so frail, and that you are pretty much locked into using Max Lightning. So looking back at this game, should I have Calm-Minded? Maybe. I think my opponent misplayed slightly by going for Wicked Blow onto Rotom. I think they needed to get damage onto the Registeel that turn with a close combat. And I don't think that was banded Urshifu. Close combat, sorry, Wicked Blow did not really do that much into Rotom, so yeah. Okay, next game here, Zapdos, Fini, Dragapult, Clef, Incineroar, Rillaboom. I think Zapdos is clearly the main Dynamax option here, but as well as Dragapult. Clefpult's pretty scary, right? But Registeel could maybe put in some work against that. How do I beat Clefpult? Because I can't intimidate it. Grimmsnarl's okay. Like, setting up Light Screen I feel like is still valuable here. I have Taunt into Clef, which is actually really good. Grimmsnarl plus... I kind of want to play, I don't know, like stall out the Dynamax in the early game and then go from there. So if I'm expecting Clefpult, like I could go Grimmsnarl Fini, and then Fini like does pretty well into the Dragapult. I think Zapdos is likely to be in the back. It's tough because like Rotom Heat's pretty good against my opponent's team. It's actually very good, but it kind of falls off against Dragapult in the early game. So if we can stall out the Dynamax, Rotom becomes a really good late game option. Don't really like Rillaboom that much here. It's tricky because I think Landorus is really good here as well. I guess I could just bring Landorus Rotom, but I don't know. Yeah, maybe Registeel's not that great in this one. Okay, I'm not going to bring Registeel in this one for a couple of reasons. One, they have a Zapdos. Zapdos completely walls Registeel, so we don't want to see that. Two, they have, I don't know, it's actually, like, they don't have that much super effective damage, but, like, they have a Fini as well, right? And, like, one of the problems with Registeel is if you're going up against Pokemon that are, like, just resist fighting and also don't take much damage from Flash Cannon, you're kind of in a standstill. So, given that they have Fini and Zapdos, I don't like Registeel too much here. It's going to be Incin and Dragapult, okay. So how do I feel about this? Not bad, actually. Not bad at all, I think. Question is whether or not I want to commit a just Moonblast Dragapult turn 1 instead of... Like, I don't want to Calm Mind here, I think. Calm Mind's nice, but I think if you're my opponent, it's so easy to just click Max Phantasm onto Tapu Fini this turn. Which is, like, my main hesitance here. Like I said, we would just need to stall out the Dynamax here, so... Pretty safe to just fake out Moonblast turn 1, I think. I think it's a little greedy to Calm Mind here because Dragapult can just Dynamax Phantasm, get a defense drop, and yeah, they're going to max here. I don't think Life Orb Phantasm one-shots Fini, but if it does... What? No way. Well, now I'm... feel even better that I didn't bring the, Is it a weakness? Surf? Oh my goodness, I did not see that coming. Wow. Honestly, I don't even mind that much because I have a Landorus in the back, which I can just Dynamax. So I don't even think this is that bad. But that was sick. I wonder if they just max Lightning here. It's a Sash? Yeah, you are Sashed. Oh, now the problem is if you are... Max Flare, okay. We should Feint here, right? That was sick. Yeah, now my fear is if you have Ally Switch on the Dragapult. I think it's so likely there's Ally Switch on that thing, but... It's probably better to just go into Rotom, pick up the Knockout, and then save Landers later. Weakness Policy, Instant plus Surf Pult. I did not see that one coming. That's really cool, and I can't even burn it here, unfortunately. I don't want to Dynamax Fini, especially with a Rillaboom in the back. Like, I think Landorus-T looks really good into my opponent's team in this endgame, so... I'm going to save it for that reason. I want to cover for the option of Ally Switch, I think. So I'll T-Bolt into the Incineroar, and I'll Moonblast into Dragapult. Dragapult could have Protect, but I think it's rather unlikely. They switch out into maybe Clef. That could be a big problem, actually. Great switch. This is the beauty of the element of surprise with Weakness Policy and Dynamax, by the way. If you turn into a Pokemon, like, turn a Pokemon that doesn't max very often, and then max it, it's huge. And they're gonna Darkness Rotom. The thing is, I can bring out Landorus, but now you can just Helping Hand Max Flare Landorus. I wonder if that's enough for a KO. So the play actually might be to bring out Landorus and Max Guard it and Calm Mind. What's the instant moveset? I feel like Max Lightning is so likely on it. Because otherwise, what's your Fini answer? But... okay, I guess the other question is whether or not Helping Hand +1 Max Flare KOs Instant in the Sun. It might not. Sorry, KOs Landorus in the Sun. But I think here you might get greedy and target down Landorus, and a lot of Landoruses don't carry Protect nowadays as well, or any way to Max Guard, especially if they're Assault Vested, so yeah. I'm going to Max Guard Calm Mind, because if this works, what I can do next turn is Max Rockfall Muddy Water, and then I actually think we win the game off this. If they target the Landers. Now, if they have Max Lightning, then of course I could say, yeah, the play would have been Protect Fini, Swords Dance, maybe with the Landorus, or Dynamax, then just Max Quake. But, yeah, I think this is a decent option. If they have Max Lightning and they target Fini, props to them. Yeah, I don't know. In this position, if they have Max Lightning, I guess it's pretty easy to target Fini here. I guess my Landorus also just outsped. Could I have just gone like Rockfall Muddy Water here? No, I don't think so. Quick Muddy Water doesn't work. I don't know. I'm basically going all in on this play. Like, it was a bad start for us, so... but, like, this is an opportunity to come back immediately right now. Well, they actually go for Follow Me. Okay. I wonder if that indicates they're just Max Lightning. Okay. Like, basically, the call here was to who to protect, right? Let's see if they identified Fini as the bigger threat. Nice, they Max Flare. That's actually huge, because I actually think we win now off that. Well, we have to hit a Muddy Water, I suppose, but that instantly turns the tides of this game into our favor, I think. Because I have Max Rockfall. Oh, I guess... I don't know if Max Rockfall Muddy Water KOs here. I think I still have to go for it, though. Change the weather. Yeah, we target Instant here. And we Muddy Water. Okay, so that was huge. We managed to waste a turn of our opponent's Dynamax and get a free Calm Mind off, so both of those are good. Yeah, I mean, Registeel would have been really bad here, honestly. And they protect Clef. Okay, perfect. This is all, like, you don't always target Clef's partner, but there are so many scenarios in which, like, you think about the worst case here. I think one Instant is very unlikely to carry Protect in this position because it's a weakness policy set. Oh, although I guess because it didn't Max Lightning there, maybe it does have, like, Protect on it. But I feel like, I don't know, with the policy set, you want to run, like, as many offensive attacks as possible. Yeah, and so what I wanted to say here is that Clef very rarely actually puts on much offensive pressure. It gets access to Moonblast and Dazzling Gleam, so if you have, like, something weak to Fairy, obviously it can. But if they don't have any of those, then if you don't have like a Dark type, for example, or an Urshifu, Clef at best is just doing a little bit of chip damage. And so basically, like on turns where you think if I Follow Me, ask yourself, can it go for a Protect instead? And if it can, how do I, get around that? And so this was kind of the problem for my opponent because they kind of went all in on that strategy, right? Their play was to just try to sweep through with Insane, but they didn't get enough knockouts, and now we're actually in a pretty commanding position. So I'm just going to Airstream here and Muddy Water. Going to target the Clef there because we know it protected last turn. Could see an ally switch. They go for Will-O-Wisp, but that's the beauty of this team. It's got Lumberry on the Landorus, so should secure us the game now, I think. We have a +1. Landorus and Fini, speed boosted as well, so things are looking pretty good. But today is definitely the surprise Dynamax episode. Like, I didn't expect the Regieleki or Instant to Dynamax on turn 1. Honestly, I can't help but wonder if my opponent Dynamaxed... Ooh, we do miss here. Onto Clef, okay. I mean, Clef's going to feign from another turn of Sandstorm, but this does get a little dicier. Moonblast was always the better play there, I think, right? Yeah, there's no reason to Muddy Water there. I actually deserve to get punished for that one. Like, I just clicked Muddy Water. I mean, it's not like Moonblast is always the better play. They do crit us as well, so it gets a little bit scarier. But, this is an example of how, like, making a suboptimal play, you can get punished for it very heavily, right? Like, not only did I miss out on a KO, but I also got crit and took a lot of damage. Their last one is Zapdos, though, so I think we still win this. But, I mean, if I just Moonblasted there, I don't take any damage. I still have that Spadef boost as well. How many turns of Sandstorm are left? 3, +1 speed on both of our Pokemon. You've already revealed the weakness policy, so I don't have to worry about something crazy like a policy Zapdos. I like Swords Dancing more here. No, I could get Hurricane confused, I guess. Yeah, I'm just going to Rock Slide and Moonblast this time around. Protecting Fini may have been better, but Zapdos does not exactly have the best matchup into us. Oh, they actually just go for Helping Hand. Okay. Rock Slide fortunately connects. A Mist there actually could have been really bad. But I think that's enough to win the game now because you don't have Friend Guard anymore. So +1 Moonblast plus Sand damage, I think KOs Zapdos, and we're faster than Zapdos with the speed boost as well, so even if they manage to survive this turn, it should be game over. Yeah, nice. So we end up winning, but like I said, you always want to just optimize your play, and like last turn, the reason to go for Muddy Water is to potentially cover for a switch out, but it's unlikely they're going to switch out in that position. Plus Moonblast is such good guaranteed damage, and it can't miss. I guess Muddy Water also covers for, I was going to say, the option of Ally Switch, but I mean, if you just Ally Switch, then I just KO'd the Dragapult and Moonblast gets directed into the Clef, right? So, yeah. I don't think we actually needed to really cover for that option. So, Moonblast always would have been better there. But I've already talked about this concept a lot, but in this generation, like, Dynamax is obviously the main mechanic, right? And if you can just wait for, like, even one extra turn of your Dynamax, and your Dynamax Pokemon can beat your opponent's Dynamax Pokemon, it's obviously, like, it's such a big advantage. And that's basically what happened in these last two games, right? As we're going up against a ranked 38 player, that's pretty exciting. They have a really cool team as well. The idea of basically getting your opponent to Dynamax early, trading a knockout so that you have better momentum and like offensive pressure in subsequent turns, I think is a really, really critical concept. And so both of those games, like, we started from behind, but we were able to come back from because we basically had a much stronger max option that could not only beat our opponent's Dynamax Pokemon, but the rest of their team as well, and enabled our Pokemon. Okay, so last game here, potentially. What do we got? So this is a Registeel game. I think so. Man, I'm looking at the Lele and it's just reminding me of yesterday's matchup. Fini feels really good here, right? Like, I kind of just want to go Grimmsnarl, Fini, Registeel. Bringing Rillaboom for terrain control is interesting. Actually, if I don't bring Rotom Heat, I'm super Celesteela weak, right? I think I have to bring Rotom just for the potential of them having Celesteela, which does not feel great because if you look at their team, Rotom fares pretty poorly against the rest of the stuff we're going up against here. So, yeah. But Celesteela is one of those Pokemon that just commands so much pressure. It's exactly like Ferrothorn, right? Where it's like, if you don't bring your one good answer to it, it can actually 4v1 against your team, especially with Leech Seed and lefties. So, I have to respect it here, I think. It's going to be Whimsicott Dracovish, which is more than okay with me. The thing I have to consider here is if my opponent switches into Tapu Lele to change the terrain so that I can't fake out on turn 1. I don't know, though. Like, Whimsicott's not that scary right now. I want to just KO Dracovish, to be honest. I don't even know if I fake out here. I'm down to just Light Screen Moonblast the Dracovish turn 1. Actually, if you're banded, and you banded Fisher's Rend really hurts here, right? So, I probably should respect that option. Alright, I'm gonna just fake out the Dracovish here and Moonblast it, because if you are banded and you switch out on a Lele, then I at least get my Moonblast off. They're gonna switch Dracovish out, okay. Lele? Yeah. That's okay. I don't mind that much. Like, what was the other play I was gonna go for? I guess, like, Light Screen plus Calm Mind would have been so sick there. But that's a really tough play to make. Because Fini is just so essential in this matchup, I feel like. Oh, they just Dazzle and Gleam. Okay. So they don't Tailwind here. But I like that, actually. There's no reason to Tailwind this turn. Yeah, it's a good play. But honestly, this is still okay for me, I feel like. Because, like, the Fini just looks so good into my opponent's team. Like, I'm down to Light Screen this turn and then just switch Fini out so I can reset the terrain. And go into probably Registeel here. Because, like, Registeel plus Fini looks pretty good against what my opponent has right now. But like I said, Light Screen Calm Mind last turn would have been super, super sick. But I wanted to respect the option of Banded Dracovish. I don't know if you can one-shot Fini. I would think so, but maybe I'm giving Dracovish a little too much respect here. Okay, we get Light Screen off. Yeah, they're just going to Gleam again. That's fine. Yeah, Registeel takes literally no damage there. And, alright, just a double Dazzling Gleam. That's fine. Great. We even get a free switch and back into Fini, so I'm happy about that. I could Calm Mind Iron Defense right now. Because I don't know how my opponent really deals with Registeel that well right now, honestly. It's just that, like, the one reason I'm a little bit hesitant to go for these boosts is because both of these Pokemon could potentially carry Taunt. So it's like, if we catch them while they're taunting, it's big. I I like going for an Iron Defense, though. I think risk versus reward-wise, it's pretty worth it. I think I will go for the double boost here, because even if you, like, double taunt, it's not that bad for us, right? Who's their Dynamax Mon? One of the Steel types, normally, I would think. Okay, let's see. Lele, I think, wants to switch out. Ooh. No, that's an option as well. That is a good option. I should have thought about Fake Tears a little bit harder. Interesting that they just offered Gleam there, though, because, yeah, that does not KO us. We get the berry. Actually, we're just out of berry range. That's a little unfortunate, but it's okay. The good thing is that you can't Fake Tears into Registeel, right? I will probably protect Fini Flash Cannon here. This is a really interesting game because I feel like we have a good matchup, and my opponents just made some nicer plays throughout the course of the game. So props to them. I think they played this well. I also just haven't seen Lele in a minute. It's interesting to see. Well, we saw Lele yesterday, but like you know, next to Whimsicott, it's pretty interesting because the Whimsicott, despite Psychic Terrain being on that team, actually does have Fake Tear still. So I'll protect here and go for a Flash Cannon onto Lele. I don't know if that's enough for a KO though. Is that Assault Vested? I can't help but wonder. Okay, they're going into Fish. We do have the boost though, which is good. I mean, if we KO Lele, like, this is not that bad, but the berry not getting activated was very unfortunate. Because the reality here is that, like, I have Rotom as the last one, but Rotom is not a good option to have against this Dracovish. That's going to crush us. The upside is that Registeel's looking really good right now, but I may have lost, like, a little bit too much in this early game. That does not KO Lele. That's a problem. Okay, we need to KO the Dracovish right now, right? So, Fish's Rend is just going to hurt really bad. And I actually think it's going to be Banded Fish here, honestly. Okay, I'm actually going to switch Fini out here. And go for Body Press directly onto Dracovish. Because I think the way we win this game is basically Dynamax Rotom Heat after we KO Dracovish. It's pretty hard to accomplish, though. I was hoping to knock out Lele that last turn. So, yeah, like, I got punished for going for Calm Mind on Fini there, right? If I just Moonblasted, it would have been a little bit better. Or even click Muddy Water. Okay, they're going to Rend here. Okay. They read into a switch. Good read. This makes this really difficult to win now, but I think with... Yeah, mainly because Rotom was my main win con against Celesteela. So it may have been better to just have stayed in with Fini there. I was hoping they would just Fish's Rend into Registeel, but the play they made, they probably doubled up onto the Fini slot there, so it covers for a switch out option. So I think it's going to be really tough to win this now, but it starts with maybe Dynamaxing the Tapu Fini. So I'm going to do that right now, because it does activate our berry, and we can maybe pick up a double KO here, so it's not over yet. I am going to just Dynamax, and I think I will just attack immediately and try to pick up a double KO. Yeah, I am going to Starfall into Fish and Body Press into Lele. Actually, I wonder if there's merit to protecting Registeel here. It has +2 defense, so I don't think it needs to be that concerned. I just think Celesteela is going to be my opponent's last one, but if it's Stakataka, maybe there's a chance. Also, if you are actually Banded Fish here, Fini should probably outspeed you. Yeah, I think my opponent maneuvered out of a bad matchup really well. Because I think Fini honestly does really well into their team comp. I just wanted to respect Choice Band Fish's Rend turn 1, but I want to do the damage calc after this game to see whether or not that's actually a one-hit KO if Tailwind is up and you outspeed us. I don't know. Okay, they just Gleam. Fini survives. I don't know, I could have Dynamax Registeel. Maybe we should have, just as a final send-off with the Registeel. That looks like they're not Scarf though, right? They're still faster than Fini, that's a problem. How much does that do? Alright, not that much. Could have protected there. I don't mind picking up the double KO, but now obviously my opponent has Whimsicott in the back. I mean, their options are Whimsicott, Stakataka... Sorry, their final Pokemon's going to be Stakataka, Urshifu, or Celesteela. I think out of those three, Celesteela is the most likely. Should I have protected there? I don't know. The Dracovish actually outspeeding us anyway is kind of bad. They're probably just max speed. And I think this Fini doesn't have that much speed investment, so yeah. I guess I shouldn't be shocked by that. What do I want to see here? I don't know if I really want to see any of the Pokemon. Stakataka is the ideal case. I'd be shocked if they had that, though. I feel like Celesteela makes so much sense as the fourth here. But that's why I need to conserve Rotom. Yeah, it is Celesteela. So you can see if I knocked out Dracovish, Rotom would have won this really hard. So it probably would have been better to just sack the Fini earlier. Bring in Rotom and then max guard it. I think switching out there was kind of a throw. I wouldn't call it a throw because my opponent was already ahead in the game, but it was definitely a pretty big misplay. Okay, Okay, I'm going to Geyser, and what do you do if you're my opponent? Tailwind? Do you have Flare is the question? Or do you Airstream? Because you could Fake Tears Airstream here. If you Fake Tears Airstream into Tapu Fini, do I have any way around that? Not really, I don't think. I think it's probably over, but I'll Geyser and go for Flash Cannon into Whimsicott, because I could see Registeel winning a 1v1 against Celesteela with rain up. Well, I guess they'd probably have Flare, so they can just change the weather back into sun. Yeah, this was definitely a game in which we had a better matchup, and our opponent just had better execution. Like, I think they played really well. Good switches all around. I got a little greedy with the Calm Mind turn with Fini, and our berry not getting activated there was pretty rough. And then, like, I would say that... I wouldn't call that a direct misplay. Okay, they do go for Fake Tears. This is interesting. I mean, it depends on the Celesteela moveset, but I'd be shocked if you did not have Max Flare on that thing. Because you should Airstream into Fini here. That should be enough for a KO. And then if you have Flare, you win the 1v1 against the Registeel. I guess I could have gone Geyser, Body Press into Celesteela. Maybe hope for a crit, but eh. Wait, they flared. Does that KO? I think that was a really big misplay on their end. I don't know if it matters, to be honest, but okay, actually no, I wouldn't call that a really big misplay. The reason what I was thinking was because I think it's better to just like not split your attacks there. Okay, we do pick up the KO on Whimsicott. This just got a lot more interesting. I think they're still fine actually, because no, yeah, never mind. I don't think it actually makes that much of a difference. Because I was thinking if you just KO Fini because you have Flare, you definitely just win the game, but I can see why they wanted to spread their attacks in case I protected with one Pokemon, right? Wait, I totally forgot we had Light Screen up. That might mean that Fini can survive, actually. I think I want to just Geyser here. Geyser Protect? Or just Geyser Body Press? I mean, we should survive a Flare in the rain, right? They should be Special Steel as well. I actually totally forgot about Light Screen. We do a little damage to Celesteela though, so I think my opponent should still win this. And this is why giving up Rotom was so bad. Like, we were forced to Dynamax Fini, which was really bad. Ooh, they go for Steel Spike. Okay. That's enough for a KO. Okay, that'll be game then, I think. I was thinking Fini maybe could survive that. I could have Max Guarded there and Body Pressed. I don't think we were going to win against Celesteela in this end game. I mean, I think now we're definitely not going to. Especially with the special attack boost. How much does Body Press do here? Oh, that was a lot. Is there any... Okay. That was a crit, though. That was a crit. See, the question now I have the Body Press twice to probably win this, right? But if I Protect here, can I survive the Flamethrower in the sun? Probably not, right? So do I have to go for another crit? I should have Protected last turn on something. That was so much damage, though. Wow. It's not a very defensive Celesteela, looks like. I mean, they're just going to Flare into Flamethrower. I just don't know whether or not I Protect here. I can definitely survive a Flare right now, right? Like, the reason to Protect here is basically hoping that I can survive Max Flare in Sun. Or, sorry, Flamethrower in Sun. Oh, that's enough for a KO. Was that a crit? Oh, they had the special attack boost. I forgot about that. Yeah, so I think they were good here in this endgame. They managed this game really, really well. Yeah, like, the reason why I thought it might have been a misplay to just split their attacks there was because it let my Registeel stick around for a little bit longer. But I don't know the item on Whimsicott. If you're not Sash there, then it makes sense in case you're worried about Registeel just one-shotting the Whimsicott in that position, I think. So what I was thinking was because Whimsicott was still at full HP, what you could do is just safely double up onto Fini. If Fini goes down, Celesteela should win the 1v1 against Registeel. So, yeah, I think like there were a couple mistakes I made in this game, like I mentioned. The Fake Tears, or sorry, the Calm Mind was a little bit ambitious on the Fini. The Berry not getting activated there was unfortunate, but even if it gets activated, you can just Fake Tears Dazzling that slot again the next turn. And I think like I was in a position to probably just get some good damage off across the board. I needed to utilize Fini a little bit better, and I lost Rotom Heat for absolutely nothing, and my opponent basically pinned me in a position where I had to either sacrifice Fini or Rotom Heat. In that position, it would have been better to have, like I said, sacrifice Fini. I get hit by a Vicious Rend Oh, I suppose, though, if the Fishious Rend goes into Registeel, then another one just KOs us. So, yeah, Dracovish put in a lot of work against us there. Light Screen, Calm Mind turn 1 may have been the play. I didn't know the item on Fish. Actually, yeah, and I wanted to do the damage calc onto Fini there. I also wonder if it would have just been better to click Body Press a bunch with the Registeel a little bit earlier on. But they play that really well, so props to them. Okay, let's say you are Adamant, Choice Band, Fishious Rend, doubled. Yeah, Fini still survives that. Okay, I think I gave Dracovish a little bit too much credit. If you have Helping Hand, it KOs, but if you're Helping Handing... Well, actually, the Dracovish did end up outspeeding the Fini. So, I suppose there was a world in which you had Helping Hand Fishious Rend turn 1, but, like... In most scenarios, because, I think Helping Hand on turn 1's pretty unlikely there, we do survive a Banded Fishious Rend. Which, honestly, I thought it would one-shot Fini, because, like, Dracovish is so strong. But Fini's also really bulky, so... Should give it more credit. I don't think I've ever seen the interaction between Fini and Fish here. So, given that, then I do think... Well, I don't know. If my opponent does click Fishious Rend as, like, Calm Mind, that's pretty bad still, right? So, Calm Mind could have been so good for us. But if they stay in Fishious Rend, it's bad. But I suppose my opponent recognizes they need to conserve the Dracovish to beat Rotom, right? Because if Dracovish goes down, Rotom just kind of 3v1s at that point. 1v3 against the Whimsicott Celesteela. Lele puts in some work against it, but it's not that scary. So... Because the matchup is in my favor, my opponent has to conserve their Pokemon well. And that's exactly what they did. So I should recognize that they need to conserve the Dracovish, and I could get a little bit greedy and go for Calm Mind. Like, once again, the reason I didn't Calm Mind turn 1 was because I was worried about the Choice Band just knocking us out. And I suppose if my opponent, like, makes a hard read and just stays in and clicks Fishious Rend out of fear of me Calm Minding, then we're in a pretty bad spot, because then next turn they can just Fishious Rend us again. And, like, Fishious Rend just does so much damage. But... Like I said, in that position, I think it's really greedy if you just stay in with Dracovish there, so the switch out there is pretty likely. So, should have read into the switch. Light Screen Calm Mind there would have put us in a phenomenal position, because then it's really hard to KO the Fini. And then we can actually even Dynamax Fini. I have regular Rotom Heat to deal with the Celesteela in that endgame. So, I think, once again, that was an example of a matchup where actually the Pokemon very heavily favored us, but our opponent just had much better execution and play. Yeah, the only play I was curious about was the split between the Fake Tears and the Max Flare. So that gave us maybe a small window. Like, actually, we had another window of opportunity there. If I just Max Guarded with Tapu Fini on the second turn, and Body Pressed, even without the crit, then what I can do the next turn is just Geyser Body Press. And actually may have been enough to win the game, because they don't get the Beast Boost. I thought there was a world in which Fini would survive, though, because Light Screen was up. Actually, let's do that calc right now, because, yeah, I was kind of surprised at KO, to be honest. So let's say you're Modest Max... they went for Flash Cannon that turn, which turned into Dynamax. We're at -2 Spadef, but we also had Light Screen up. And we were around like 100 HP-ish or so, I think. That may have been a damage roll. Yeah, I think that may have been a damage roll, but I think it favors my opponent more. I don't remember the exact HP range, but I think, yeah, there was a chance in which we could have survived that, actually. So, if we survive that, I also think we probably win the game, because then you don't get the Beast Boost, and then the next turn I just Max Geyser Body Press again. I guess the Max Geyser does a little damage, but the main thing is being able to have the rain up for the Registeel. So, yeah. Ended up being a really close game. I definitely made, I would say, several mistakes, though, and my opponent, like I said, like... play like that's always really impressive, because like anytime a matchup doesn't favor you, it's already like the odds are already against you, but my opponent recognized what their win conditions were and played towards that. I do think if Fini just went down to a double up, the game was just instantly over, which is why once again I was surprised about my opponent not doubling up. But like I said, the explanation there is I think covering for a max guard, especially if they don't have the Focus Sash on Whimsicott, then they're probably worried about me max guarding and just going for a Flash Cannon onto the Whimsicott for a one-hit KO. So yeah, really cool team from my opponent's team. That last one though, like they were really highly ranked, and yeah, Whimsicott, Lele, Dracovish, and Celesteela. It's not really a core you see that often, and yeah, I was wondering what their Fini answer was, but Fake Tears I think is a really, really big game changer with that team. And yeah, I wasn't expecting it as much because I saw the Lele. Psychic Terrain, obviously, you can't really Fake Tears while the terrain is up, but it makes sense with Special Celesteela next to you. So, yeah. Anyway, I've been rambling on for a little bit, but thought that was a pretty interesting game to analyze. So, thank you so much, as always, for watching. If you enjoyed, please show your support by leaving a like. Thank you to Eric once again for the sick team. Please go check him out. Link in the description below, and I'll catch you all next time. All right. Peace.